Welcome to In the Field. I'm Brad here with Southern Farmer Magazine. Here today with Dr. J. Michael Moore. He is the University of Georgia Cooperative Extension tobacco agronomist. Hey, Dr. Moore.
Good to be with you again.
We've been on the Georgia-Florida tobacco tour, and we've seen a lot of good tobacco. Overall, how's the crop looking in this area?
You know, all of Georgia and Florida have an exceptional crop right now. We got off to a very good start. Started out a little dry, got some rain early on, enough to keep the crop growing. And I said this morning, I think this is going to be the most uniform crop at topping and the easiest to apply sucker control materials and clean up the tops and be done with that part as I've ever seen.
Well, how do we get to this point and have such a good crop right now? Weather crop?
Well, it takes water. It takes water. Now, fortunately, Georgia and Florida have irrigation to call on, but some growers have not had to completely irrigate this crop. Some of them have been fortunate enough to get rainfall. Unfortunately, there's some in the east that have excessive rainfall, and now they have drowning and flopping and a little reduction in quality and in yield. But once they break out the tops, they add a little extra fertilizer, dry it out a little bit, it's going to come back, and I think we still have an outstanding opportunity to produce a wonderful quality and quantity across both states.
How are we looking with acreage for those two states?
Well, we continue to be down in Georgia. We're down from 10,000 last year to maybe 9,000 acres. Our number of growers continues to drop as we lost about 15 or so operations in the past year. In Florida, we're about 850 as far as acres, and we still continue to have about 10 operations with as many as 16 different people involved. By the time you count the brothers and the uncles and that kind of thing.
Well, do we have what we're going to have left? Are the hardcores left now? We're going to see much more exodus for those two states, you think? Or what's the philosophy now with growers out there?
Well, we have 2 more years of the tobacco buyout payments, and those that didn't take their payment and lump sum now are getting annual payments, and they have 2 more opportunities. Now, what we hope growers are not doing is farming off of their buyout payment. If they're farming off their buyout payment, there's going to be an awakening after 2 more years, and it's going to put a lot of financial pressure on growers. We hope that's not going to be the case, but we may see a few drop out at that point. But as far as the core, we have the hardcore growers, those who have invested significant amounts of money in automation, in curing barns, and setting up their operation for peak efficiency, and also in land and in equipment to produce the crop in the field. Those guys are here to stay. They got nothing else they can do without equipment in most cases, and that's what they know and they love. And that's what makes Georgia tobacco outstanding. The environment that we grow it in and the commitment of the growers.
Absolutely. I mean, the people we've met are dedicated, and they've been real helpful and opening their farms up to us. Have been great. Speaking about dedication, tomato spotted wilt virus for this area, for Georgia, and some of Florida, but mostly in Georgia, really came and hurt, but to get a handle of it, there's had to be a lot of dedication with research and chemistry and chemical companies. Have we come to a point where it's able to control that disease now in this area, or at least get a management grasp on it?
Well, you know, we don't have the silver bullet as far as controlling tomato spotted wilt virus yet. We are limited to 2 materials that do a good job of helping us reduce it from the worst case scenario when we don't put anything in the field from a chemical standpoint to help us on that, to dropping it to 50% of what the worst case scenario would be. Admire Pro and ActiGuard put on in the greenhouse can drop it by 50%. That puts it at a manageable level for most people. And for this season, it means worst case might be 40% of the plants showing the symptoms at topping time, as low as 8 to 10% in a treated field. So it's great insurance, it's good management, and I think most of our growers now, I can't imagine that there's a grower out here that's not using at least part of that treatment.
The Georgia-Florida Tobacco Tour, it's been a great tour. It's been a great get out and see, and it's had some good weather, had some rain, had some good weather, got some soggy ground, a lot of good things growing. Dr. Moore, appreciate you letting me tag along and telling me about it, man.
I've enjoyed it.
Hey.
Good to have you.
Until next time, take care, give thanks, and good luck.